First of all, North Korea shares a border with Russia. All you have to do is get on the train, you ride up there. And that's what North Korean troops do on a pretty routine basis. They go up for training. And whenever foreign troops come into Russia to be trained by Russians, or foreign officers attend Russian military academies, they are all given Russian uniforms. So this is a standard routine operation. I don't know what the Russians specifically said to the North Koreans, but this is not unusual. However, this has nothing to do with Ukraine, and there is no need or intention under any circumstances to send North Korean troops to fight in Ukraine. This is another effort trying to create the illusion that somehow or another Russia has been weakened. We've been down this road before. The Russians are turning away people who are volunteering to fight in Ukraine. They have no manpower shortage, and they're healthy. It's the Ukrainians that have a manpower shortage and are losing airspeed and altitude every second.
Douglas Macgregor's remarks offer a straightforward rebuttal to the rumors about North Korean troops being deployed to Ukraine on behalf of Russia. Instead, he presents this as a case of routine military exchanges between North Korea and Russia that have little to do with the ongoing war in Ukraine. Today, we're going to dive deep into what Macgregor's statements reveal about the situation and examine the broader implications of these military exchanges. Macgregor begins by highlighting that North Korea's military personnel regularly travel to Russia for training exercises. North Korea shares a border with Russia, making this type of travel relatively simple. These exchanges, he says, are far from unique and happen whenever foreign troops participate in Russian training programs. This familiarity also means that North Korean troops, like others, are provided Russian uniforms when training alongside Russian soldiers, a detail that may have fueled misunderstandings or even sensationalist claims in the media. In emphasizing the routine nature of this relationship, Macgregor tries to remove any implication of a secretive military alliance with the purpose of deploying North Korean troops to Ukraine. Instead, he paints a picture of standard military collaboration between Russia and North Korea, suggesting that the presence of North Korean troops on Russian soil is neither new nor particularly alarming. The claim that North Korean troops could be sent to Ukraine to assist Russia is, according to Macgregor, just another attempt to create the illusion of a weakened Russia. Macgregor argues that such narratives have been used repeatedly in the conflict, often painting a dire picture of Russia's capabilities or intentions. But he stresses that Russia is not on the brink of collapse, nor is it desperate for manpower. This misinformation, he suggests, is designed to bolster Western narratives about the Ukrainian conflict, portraying Russia as stretched thin or struggling. According to Macgregor, these reports misinterpret normal military exchanges as extraordinary measures, feeding a skewed perception of Russia's position in the war. By clarifying that Russia has no intention of sending North Korean troops to Ukraine, Macgregor counters a specific narrative of Russian desperation. To him, this is a tactic to reinforce the West's message of Russian vulnerability and impending defeat, a message that Macgregor believes is far from the truth. Turning his attention to the battlefield, Macgregor asserts that Russia has no shortage of troops and, in fact, is turning away volunteers who want to fight in Ukraine. This statement challenges the idea that Russia is in any kind of manpower crisis. Macgregor portrays Russia's forces as not only sufficient but resilient, maintaining control over their recruitment and deployment. This picture stands in stark contrast to the idea of Russia desperately seeking troops from allies like North Korea. On the other hand, Macgregor describes Ukraine as suffering from severe manpower issues. He suggests that Ukraine is not only losing ground militarily, but also struggling to replenish its forces as the war drags on. According to Macgregor, Ukraine's limitations in personnel and resources have forced it into a critical situation where every moment lost in combat weakens it further. This reality, he argues, is not being fully acknowledged in the Western discourse, which he believes has focused too much on Russia's supposed struggles while ignoring the very real challenges facing Ukraine. Macgregor's remarks hint at a larger, often overlooked aspect of the conflict, the role of narratives in shaping public perception. By alleging that Russia is in need of foreign troops, Western media and analysts can paint a picture of Russia as increasingly desperate. But Macgregor insists that these stories overlook the actual situation, where Russia's strength is relatively stable while Ukraine's position continues to weaken. In this broader strategic view, Macgregor is pointing to a long-term shift in the power balance on the battlefield. If Ukraine is facing a crisis in manpower and resources, as he suggests, then the longer the war continues, the more challenging Ukraine's position becomes. Russia, on the other hand, may be taking a measured approach, confident that time is on its side. This could explain why Russia is able to turn away volunteers, maintain its operations, and avoid relying on foreign manpower. One of Macgregor's more subtle points is how narratives around Russian weakness serve a specific purpose in the Western media. Reports that North Korean troops might be involved in the war can amplify the idea of Russian desperation, casting Russia as a floundering power that must rely on allies like North Korea. Macgregor suggests that these stories are less about facts and more about reinforcing an image that keeps Western audiences convinced of an eventual Ukrainian victory. By claiming that Russia is stable and healthy, Macgregor directly challenges these portrayals. He's emphasizing that the Russian military machine is functioning effectively and does not require external reinforcements to continue its campaign in Ukraine. To him, such rumors only serve to distract from the realities of the battlefield, where Ukraine is facing growing logistical and manpower difficulties. So, what does this mean for the future of the conflict? Macgregor's analysis implies that as Ukraine's manpower shortage worsens, its capacity to continue resisting Russia's advances will diminish. The idea that Russia is losing the war becomes questionable when viewed through the lens of his argument. If, as he suggests, Russia is able to maintain a stable and robust fighting force, while Ukraine struggles to sustain its own, then the strategic picture changes significantly. According to Macgregor, this also speaks to the broader issue of Western involvement in Ukraine. By fueling narratives of Russian desperation and Ukrainian resilience, the West may be delaying an honest assessment of the situation, potentially prolonging a conflict that, in his view, is already unwinnable for Ukraine. For Macgregor, the sooner these realities are acknowledged, the sooner a realistic approach to peace can emerge. Macgregor's speech: North Korea shares a border with Russia. All you have to do is get on a train and ride up there, and that's what North Korean troops do on a routine basis. They go up for training. Whenever foreign troops come to Russia for training or foreign officers attend Russian military programs, they are all given Russian uniforms. This is a standard procedure. I don't know what the Russians specifically told the North Koreans, but this is not unusual. However, this has nothing to do with Ukraine. There's no need or intention to send North Korean troops to fight in Ukraine. This idea is just another attempt to create the illusion that Russia is somehow weakened. We've heard this narrative before. In reality, Russia is turning away volunteers who want to fight in Ukraine. They have no manpower shortage and are in a healthy position. It's the Ukrainians who are struggling with manpower shortages, losing ground every second. Thanks for watching.